The blue light from Knox's laptop was still glowing on my coffee table, right next to my half-drunk mug of reheated office coffee. And when I saw my father's name sitting in the inbox preview, I stayed quiet while something inside me cracked. Why would my dad be emailing my fiancé in the middle of the night? My name is Rhiannon. I am 29 years old, and I work as a forensic accountant for a mid-size firm in Seattle. The kind of job where people hire you when they think numbers are lying to them. I used to believe numbers were the only thing that did not lie. That night, I had been chasing a deadline, the kind that turns your apartment into a cave. My hair was twisted up with a pen because I could not find a clip. My blazer was draped over a chair like a tired flag. Knox had texted me earlier that he was staying at his place because he had a morning meeting and did not want to wake me. I believed him because I had believed him for 4 years. We were supposed to get married in 6 months. My dress was hanging in the closet, zipped into plastic, like a promise I had paid for in installments. Invitations were drafted. Deposits were placed. My mother had already started saying things like, "My future son-in-law," in that soft, proud voice that made me feel safe. Then I saw the email preview. From Dad. Subject, about the favor. I did not sit down and decide to snoop. I did not have a villain speech in my head. My hand moved like it belonged to someone else, like my body was trying to protect me before my mind could stop it. I clicked. My father's words landed in my eyes like hot metal. Knox, the first transfer went through. The rest will clear by Friday. Keep this simple. End it clean. Waverly can offer you what Rhiannon never will. She has the right network, the right future. You will thank me. I blinked so hard it hurt. I read it again. Then again. I scrolled, hoping there was some reasonable explanation hidden lower in the thread. Like a punchline, like a misunderstanding. Like my father talking about a surprise gift or a stupid prank or literally anything that did not involve my life being sold in a private email. Knox replied a few hours earlier. Understood, sir. I will do it at dinner. I appreciate you. I know this is best for everyone. Everyone. I stared at that word until it stopped looking like a word. My throat tightened so fast it felt like I was swallowing glass. My skin went cold, but my face burned. My heart did this strange, slow stumble, like it was trying to decide whether to run or to stop. Waverly. My cousin Waverly, with her glossy hair and effortless laugh. Waverly, who always hugged a little too long. Waverly, who had been sending me bridal shower ideas at midnight like we were best friends. Waverly, who had offered to help me pick shoes because she had a good eye for details. I heard the refrigerator hum. I heard my neighbors shower through the wall. Normal sounds. A normal building. A normal night. I was the only thing that was not normal anymore. I sat on the edge of the couch and stared at my engagement ring. It looked heavy, like it knew, like it had been laughing at me for months. I remembered Knox proposing on the waterfront, the wind making my eyes water, him smiling so wide his cheeks shook. I remembered my father clapping him on the shoulder at Sunday dinner and calling him son. I remembered my mother squeezing my hand under the table like she was proud of the life we were building. All of it suddenly had a price tag. And the worst part was not the betrayal. The worst part was how familiar it felt. Because my entire childhood had been a quiet competition I pretended was not happening. Waverly was the sparkly one, the social one. The one people looked at first. I was the responsible one. The one adults trusted to hold a baby. The one who cleaned up after the party. The one who got praised for being practical, like practical was a compliment and not a cage. My father had always loved that about me. The way I did not make scenes. The way I swallowed disappointment neatly. He must have assumed I would swallow this, too. I should have screamed. I should have called my mother. I should have thrown Knox's laptop out the window and watched it shatter on the sidewalk like a small kind of justice. But I did not. I went still. I did what I always did when my world tilted. I collected information. My fingers shook, but I took screenshots anyway. Every line, every timestamp, the thread header, the reply, the subtle little details that could not be denied later. Then I noticed something that made my stomach drop harder. There was an attachment, a small paperclip icon, the kind you barely register until you do. The file name was boring, like someone had tried to make it invisible. Wedding budget notes. My mouth tasted like pennies. I clicked the attachment, expecting to see something like a fake estimate or a list of expenses or some dumb spreadsheet my father had been using to justify his meddling. Instead, I saw a table. Names, dates, amounts, notes. It was not a wedding budget. It was a payment log. My father's name appeared more than once. Waverly's mother, my aunt, appeared more than once. And Knox's name was listed beside a note that made my hands go numb. Initial incentive. Final incentive after confirmation. Confirmation of what? I scrolled, and the room seemed to tilt again. There were other names on the list, too. People I recognized from family life. A longtime family friend who worked in real estate. An older man who had once told me I would make a great little accountant like it was cute. A woman who used to bring deviled eggs to Thanksgiving and compliment Waverly's smile. All of them tied together by amounts and dates. It looked like a network, a system, a habit. My brain did that thing it does when I am auditing a company and the numbers do not match. It started building a map in my head. It started searching for the lie under the lie. This was bigger than Knox leaving me. This was my father moving pieces around like a chessboard, and I was not the only piece. I heard my phone buzz. A text from Knox. Hey, tomorrow night, can we do dinner at that Italian place? I want to talk. My vision went blurry, but not from tears. It was like my eyes were trying to reject reality. That Italian place was our place, our anniversaries, our comfort, the place where he always ordered the same dish and pretended he was easy to please. He wanted to talk. He wanted to end it clean. My father had told him to. I set my phone down slowly, like it might explode. Then another notification popped up on the laptop. A new email arrived, sliding into the top of the inbox. From Waverly. Subject, are we still on for Sunday? My lungs forgot how to work. Because Sunday was family dinner at my parents' house. And suddenly, I understood why my father wanted it clean. He wanted it done in front of everyone. He wanted me smiling, nodding, accepting, practical. He wanted me broken quietly, so nobody would notice the sound. I could already see the scene like a film I did not want to watch. My mother trying to soothe. My father acting calm. Waverly playing innocent. Knox acting sad but noble. Everyone thinking I would do what I always did. Be reasonable. I stared at the screen until my eyes burned. Then I did something I had never done in my life. I stopped being the person they had built. I opened a new folder on my phone and named it Evidence. I forwarded every email to myself. I saved the attachment. I saved the screenshots. I saved the timestamps. I saved everything. And then, because I am who I am, because I cannot help it, because my job has trained me to smell rot under perfume, I searched the laptop for one word. Trust. The search results popped up instantly. Dozens of files. Dozens of threads. And one subject line that made my blood run colder than the Seattle rain. Rhiannon audit concerns. Quick real-life pause. When I am editing these late at night, I get tired, and your comments are what keep me going. Like, subscribe, and tell me your city, state, or country. All right, back to the story. I clicked the thread, and the first line I saw was my father telling Knox exactly what to say if I ever asked questions. And that was the moment I realized they were not just planning to leave me. They were planning to erase me. My father's email was short, clinical, and somehow that made it worse. If she asks why, tell her you are overwhelmed. Tell her you need space. Tell her you still respect her. Do not mention Waverly until after the break. Let her think it is just you. She will handle it quietly. He wrote about me like I was a predictable spreadsheet. And Knox answered like a man reading from a script. Got it, I can do that. My hands were steady now, which scared me more than the shaking. When your body stops panicking, it is not because the danger is gone. It is because something else takes over. I clicked through the thread slowly, forcing myself to breathe through my nose like I was in a meeting, like this was just another ugly set of transactions. Then I saw another attachment, a second file Knox had sent my father. It was titled Talking Points. I opened it. It was a list of sentences, arranged like a customer service call. I love you, but I am not in love anymore. You deserve someone who can give you more. This is nobody's fault. I do not want to hurt you. It was all so gentle, so clean, so designed to make me feel guilty for existing. My eyes went to the bottom of the file, expecting it to end there. But there was one more line, separated from the rest like a footnote. If she gets emotional, remind her she hates drama. I stared at that line until the letters blurred. I could hear my father's voice saying it, the same way he used to say it when I cried as a teenager. Not unkind, but dismissive, like my feelings were a flaw in my character. My phone buzzed again. A second text from Knox. Please do not be mad. I just want to talk. I almost laughed, not because it was funny, because it was so obvious. I did not respond. I opened my laptop and did what I had trained myself to do for years. I started making a timeline, not for them, for me. When the first email was sent, when Knox replied, when the payment log was updated, when Waverly emailed about Sunday. The timestamps were a spine. If I held on to them, I would not collapse. Then I pulled up my bank account, because a part of me needed to check something I did not want to be true. The wedding deposits. The venue, the photographer, the florist. Most of them were under my name. My stomach sank, but I forced myself to keep looking. The venue contract had a clause highlighted in yellow. Non-refundable after 30 days. And next to it, in my own notes, a line I had written weeks ago like an idiot trying to be helpful. Dad offered to cover the final payment if needed. My throat tightened again. I checked my email for anything from my father about the venue. There it was. Forwarded contract. Let me know if you want me to handle payment. Happy to help. He had been setting this up from multiple angles, not just to replace me, but to make sure I carried the cost of being replaced. I stood up and walked to the closet. My dress was still there, silent, innocent. I pulled the plastic away and ran my fingers over the fabric. For 1 second, I let myself feel it. The grief, the humiliation, the childish hope I had stitched into that dress without realizing it. Then I zipped it back up. Not because I was fine. Because I was done. I called in sick the next morning with a voice so calm my boss told me to rest and feel better, like I had a cold instead of a life-altering betrayal. Then I called a lawyer. Her name was Colette, and she spoke like a woman who had heard every kind of disaster and never flinched once. I told her I had evidence of financial coercion tied to a broken engagement, and I heard the slight change in her tone. Interest. Focus. Do you have documentation? She asked. I have screenshots, emails, and a payment log, I said. Good, do not confront anyone yet. Do not tell them you know. Let them keep talking. Let them keep writing. People incriminate themselves when they think you are quiet. I swallowed. That part felt like swallowing sand. I can do quiet, I said. Yes, you can, she replied, and we can do something with it. After that, I called my friend Arden. She worked in cybersecurity, not because I wanted revenge, because I wanted to make sure nobody could delete what I had already saved. She did not ask me if I was okay. She asked me where to meet. An hour later, she was at my kitchen table with my phone and my laptop, moving through settings like a surgeon. They can wipe this remotely if Knox has access to your accounts, she said. We are going to lock everything down. New passwords, 2-factor. And Rhiannon listened to me. What? I whispered. Do not underestimate how far families will go to keep a story clean. The word clean hit me like a slap. My father's favorite kind of mess was the one nobody saw. When Arden left, my apartment felt too quiet again. My mind started filling the silence with scenes I did not want. Waverly looking at me with that glossy smile. Knox sitting across from me at the Italian place, practicing sympathy. My father watching, satisfied, like he had balanced a ledger. I forced myself to do one more thing before my courage ran out. I opened a new email and typed a message to Waverly. Hey, I saw your note about Sunday. I will be there. I miss everyone. Then I stared at it, my finger hovering over send. My stomach twisted. It felt like lying to someone who had already lied to me in 1,000 invisible ways. But then I thought of Colette's voice. Let them keep talking. I hit send. Almost immediately, Waverly replied. Yay, I cannot wait. Also, Knox said you two are doing dinner tomorrow. So exciting. Proud of you for working through things. I read it twice. Proud of you. Like she was already practicing being my replacement while pretending to be my friend. My hands went cold again, but I kept my face blank, even though nobody could see me. I learned a long time ago that sometimes the only way to survive is to act like you do not feel anything until you are safely alone. That evening, Knox called. I let it ring until voicemail, then waited 10 minutes and texted back. Sorry, long day. Dinner tomorrow is fine. He replied with a heart. It made me nauseous. The next night, I got dressed like it was a normal date. Not too sexy, not too cold. A soft sweater, simple earrings, the kind of outfit that said stable and reasonable. The kind of woman my father assumed he understood. I arrived early and chose a table where the overhead light would hit Knox's face. I wanted to see everything. When he walked in, he smiled like nothing was wrong. Like I had not been sold. Like he had not accepted. He leaned down to kiss my cheek, and I turned my head just enough that his lips hit air. His smile flickered. Hey, he said softly, sitting down. You look tired. I am, I said. Work has been intense. Good, keep it normal. Keep him confident, keep him talking. He reached for my hand. I let him touch it, then gently pulled away to pick up the menu. So he began, clearing his throat. I have been thinking. I lifted my eyes, calm. About what? About us. There it was, the first line of the script. My heart pounded, but my voice stayed smooth. Okay, I said, tell me. He inhaled, like he had rehearsed the sadness. Rhiannon, I love you, but I just feel like something has changed. I nodded slowly. He continued, gaining confidence. You deserve someone who can give you more, someone who fits you. Fits you. My father's language was everywhere, like fingerprints. And then, right when Knox thought he was controlling the moment, I gave him what he wanted most. I smiled. I was actually going to say the same thing, I said quietly. His eyes widened. Really? Really, I repeated. I think we both know this is the practical choice. The word practical landed between us like a coin. Knox blinked. His mouth opened, then closed, like his brain had tripped over something it did not expect. You are taking this well, he said, and relief rushed into his face so fast it almost looked like joy. I felt my stomach turn, not because he was leaving. Because he was grateful, I was easy to discard. I reached into my purse and pulled out the ring box. I did not open it yet. I just placed it on the table like a quiet verdict. You should keep it, I said. Sell it, start fresh. He stared at the box, then up at me, and for a second I saw guilt. A flicker, a shadow. But it passed. He swallowed. Rhiannon, I did not want to hurt you. I tilted my head slightly. I know. Then I leaned in, just enough to lower my voice. Do me one favor, Knox. His eyes narrowed, cautious. What? Tell my father, thank you for helping you see clearly. The color drained from his face, so fast it was almost impressive. His lips parted, his throat bobbed. And in that long, beautiful second of silence, I watched him realize I was not the girl in his script anymore. Knox froze. For a long moment, he did not speak. The restaurant noise faded into a dull blur around us, forks on plates, low laughter, a piano playing somewhere in the background. All of it suddenly felt very far away. "Your father," he whispered. "Yes," I said calmly, "my father." His face went from pale to almost gray. I watched him swallow hard, trying to find a sentence that would save him. I had seen that look before on clients when they realized the audit was over and the truth had already been found. "Rhiannon, I can explain." "No, you cannot," I answered softly. "There is nothing to explain. I already know everything." He reached across the table again, desperate now, but I folded my hands in my lap and kept them there. "Please, let me talk," he begged. "It is not what you think." That was almost funny. "It is exactly what I think, Knox. I saw the emails. I saw the payment log. I saw the talking points. I know how much my life was worth to you." His mouth opened, then closed. He looked around the restaurant like he hoped someone would rescue him. "I was going to tell you eventually," he said weakly. "Eventually," I repeated, "after you married my cousin." He flinched. "I did not mean for it to happen like this." "But it did," I said, "and now you have the clean break my father paid for." I stood up before he could speak again. "Good luck with Waverly, Knox. I hope she gives you everything you sold me for." Then I walked out of the restaurant without looking back. Outside, the cold air hit my face, and for the first time since I opened that email, I felt something close to relief. Not happiness, not yet, but relief. The next day, I did something even harder. I went to Sunday dinner. When I walked into my parents' house, the familiar smell of roasted chicken and lemon cleaner wrapped around me. My mother hugged me tightly, asking if I was okay. My father smiled the careful smile he used when he thought everything was under control. Waverly was already there, sitting on the couch with her glossy hair and bright lipstick. "Hey," she said, jumping up to hug me. "I missed you." I hugged her back, feeling nothing at all. Dinner was polite, small talk, weather, work, plans for the wedding that would never happen. Halfway through dessert, my father cleared his throat. "So Knox tells me you two had a talk," he said gently. "I am sorry things did not work out." "Yes," I replied, meeting his eyes. "We had a very honest conversation." He nodded, pleased with himself. "These things happen, sweetheart. Sometimes the practical choice is the right one." There it was again, practical. I set my fork down carefully. "Actually, Dad," I said, "I think honesty is more important than practical." The table went quiet. "What do you mean?" Waverly asked, blinking. I reached into my bag and placed a folder on the table. A simple manila folder, nothing dramatic. "I mean this," I said. My father's face changed the moment he saw it. He knew before anyone else did. "Rhiannon," he began. I opened the folder and slid the printed emails across the table. Not shouting, not crying, just calm, clean truth. My mother gasped, Waverly stared. My aunt went pale. "This is between us," my father snapped. "No," I answered. "It was between all of you when you decided my life was something to be negotiated." Waverly's hands shook as she read. "You paid him," she whispered. "You paid Knox to leave her." My father tried to speak, but I kept going. "You treated me like an inconvenience to be solved, like a problem to move out of the way, and you thought I would never know." Tears filled my mother's eyes. "Is this true?" she asked him. He looked smaller than I had ever seen him. "I was trying to help," he muttered. "I thought it was for the best." "For who?" I asked quietly. "For me, or for the version of life you wanted to design?" Waverly pushed her chair back, standing so fast it scraped loudly against the floor. "I had no idea," she said, staring at my father. "I would never have agreed to this." "Maybe you did not know about the money," I replied, "but you knew you were stepping into my place." Silence fell over the room. I did not scream. I did not cry. I simply told the truth and let it sit there like an unmovable stone. After that night, everything changed. I canceled the wedding. I returned the dress. I moved out of the apartment Knox and I had planned to share. With Colette's help, I recovered every dollar I had spent. My father paid it all back without argument. But I did something bigger than that. I accepted a job offer in another state, far away from the town that had decided who I was supposed to be. A new firm, a new apartment, a new life where nobody called me practical like it was a limitation. Months passed, then years. I built a career that belonged only to me. I traveled. I laughed again. I learned to sleep without checking my phone in the middle of the night. Eventually, I met someone new. Not because I was looking, because life finally felt open enough to let love in. His name is Soren. He listens. He shows up. He chooses me without needing a single reason from anyone else. When he proposed, there were no emails hiding in the background. No deals, no conditions. Just two people deciding to be on the same team. My father and I speak now, carefully, from a distance. He apologized more times than I can count. I accepted the apology, but I never forgot what he showed me. Forgiveness does not mean giving someone the keys to your heart again. Waverly and Knox did get married, exactly as planned. It lasted less than 2 years. Turns out a relationship built on manipulation and convenience does not survive real life. Sometimes I hear small updates from relatives, arguments, tension, unhappiness. None of it touches me anymore. Because the truth is, that terrible night with the glowing laptop and the cold coffee did not destroy my life. It saved it. It forced me to stop being the quiet girl who accepted whatever scraps were offered. It forced me to see my own worth when the people closest to me refused to. And now, when I sit at my kitchen table beside a man who loves me honestly, in a home I built myself, I understand something I could not see back then. The greatest revenge was not exposing them. The greatest revenge was outgrowing them.